my God, earnestly I seek you. My soul thirsts for you, my flesh faints for you, as in a dry and weary land. So I will bless you as long as I live, long as I live in your name. I will lift up my hands, so I will bless you as long as I live, long as I live in your name. I will lift up my hands. But the king shall rejoice in God. All who swear by him shall exult, for the mouths of liars will be stopped, as in a dry and weary land. So I will bless you as long as I live, long as I live in your name. I will lift up my hands.
Well, hey, everybody, it is Brad.
And I'm Christa.
With the Big Family Homestead. Welcome to Sunday evening. Man, oh man, have we got a show for you.
It's not Veggie Tales.
I like watching Veggie Tales.
I like watching Veggie Tales too, yeah.
The little peas. The peas, they make me laugh.
The French peas.
Ha ha. The little peas.
They're so cute.
Anyway, so good evening, afternoon, whenever you're watching this video. Ladies and gents, welcome. I'm Brad.
And I'm Christa.
We have got some fun stories. We've got some serious stories. We've got science. Let's see. I've got my window over there open. You can't see it. We're going to talk about harm. I was flipping my words around. Farm/homestead hacks. I was going to harm-flomestead. I don't know. Man, I got to get the junk out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell them a few more
All
things?
right, so we're also going to talk about farmers. And what was that first article again?
EV vehicles.
Yes, EV vehicles.
There's something very surprising about that.
And AM radio.
We need to fight for our right for AM. You got to fight for your right for AM. Right?
Sure.
We're going to talk about it.
Sure. And then there's a really cool story about a instrument repair guy.
An artisan.
Yep.
Artisan. So we're going to jump right on into it. And by the way, type. Say hello, hit the thumbs up. That really does help us out. And add your comments. This is actually going broadcast as a live event, even though we recorded it this afternoon. But add your comments, and we're watching. We're always watching. Wazowski and we'll type things too. So yes. First story up. What do we got here? El Christa. That's her.
All right. So we're going to talk about these farm homesteady hacks. What?
No, go. Sorry, I got distracted.
Yes.
I was going to point.
Okay. So some farm homesteady hacks, and you don't know what to do with your hands, do you, hon?
No, I know.
And there's some great ways that you can save some money by not having to buy every little thing, but making it on your own. Those of you who have small little farms and small hobby farms and things like that have tried to learn how to do things on the cheap.
More effectively. On the cheap.
You gotta make things work on your farm that work for you, and not just because it's some fantastical thing that you can get at the farm store when it costs you 5 times as much as it would cost for you to make it yourself. So
in the chat, add your comments.
Yep.
Because there's so many of you guys out there that are just smart, wicked smart, way smarter than we are. Because we're still learning. We're a decade in, but we're still learning.
Still learning, yep.
So first story or first hack. Here we go, Mom. You are the queen of reading and all things that are just beautiful. Heck yeah, bro. I mean, sister. Whatever.
Okay. Not going to read it if you keep doing that. I'm going to take the mouse from you.
Go ahead.
Not doing it.
How about now? Cows.
No.
This is cool.
All right, so hose holder. Everybody has hoses that are laying all over the place, right?
Getting trampled by cars and animals.
They get run over by vehicles, tractors. They get tangled. Get one of those hose holders. It says, my hose is always popping out of the livestock tanks. Oh, that's what they're talking about. When I fill them, now I loop the hose through 2 holes of a brick and drop the brick down in the tank.
Oh, so it stays down to the bottom.
There's so many things that you can do to keep your hose down in the tank. We actually have ours basically screwed to the wall. Our tank is up against
with a
the
bracket.
wall. It's one of those C-shaped brackets that we've got screwed to the wall because it's a heated hose, and so it goes from the spigot in the barn along the barn wall, and it's up off the ground, so it's not on the cold concrete. It's up off the floor, and it's screwed down so that it's just there. We don't have to mess with it. It doesn't get stepped on by the cows. It's not it's not getting crushed. And so it's great. Figure out a way that works best for you. I've seen even some folks who put it through sorry, glitching. Too many things going on in my brain at the same time. They even have, I saw them. They're really inexpensive, those auto water shutoff valves. So like in a toilet tank, you know how it's...
Oh, sure.
The water shuts off at a certain point. It's similar to that. You put that in your stock tank and you stick your hose on it. Well, then once it goes below a certain level, the water fills up automatically and you don't have to worry about it.
I can see that working for a lot of places, but not here.
It
would freeze up like ASAP.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But if you didn't live in a place that it would freeze up, you could actually, I do think you could use a toilet tank setup. You might just have to do a weird clamp to get the hose to stay on it. But
sure.
Yeah, anyway. But I really like the brick thing just to keep it down. And there's silly things like that.
Yep.
Hay cover that's a satellite dish.
That's
that's a little bit, how do we say, Sanford & Sons.
Yeah, but you could paint it.
It's still very effective.
You could paint it.
Maybe a big happy face.
Yeah, you could totally make it a big happy face.
A flower.
So a sunflower, yeah, because then planes going overhead could see
Target,
it.
if you're, a homesteader.
No, not a Target. No.
Okay.
No, but definitely, I wouldn't paint it black though. It probably would heat up the hay underneath.
If you wanted it that way,
I don't know, but that's a great idea to reduce, reuse, recycle.
Here we go. This one I think is genius.
Yes, a fence ladder.
Check that out.
I mean, really, who hasn't had to get through the fence where there's no gate nearby?
Who hasn't gotten the stew shocked out of you by the electric fence because you thought you could get under it? This guy right here. This guy.
Yeah. Or you could get over the lowest wire.
This guy.
No.
So would you prefer getting shocked on your back or in between your...
No, neither. Thank you very much.
If you had to pick.
If I had to pick, probably my back.
Because then you're going to hit the deck. You're going to be like, and go down.
And then you get shocked both sides.
Yes.
So why not? But if you get shocked down below, then you're going to jump up and you're going to get shocked on your back. So regardless, you're getting double shocked.
I got nailed good the other day.
You did?
I did. I was working on the fence, and I was convinced that the fencer was broken because I went over to it and I tested it at the fencer, and it was showing like very little. So something is wrong with it. It was showing very little voltage coming out of it. So I'm like, okay, no big deal. And I went and started working on the fence in the corner. It was like pop. I guess the flux capacitor had finally kicked in.
You were either that or you were really grounded.
Either that or else she plugged it in when I wasn't
didn't
looking.
touch it. I didn't even know that you got shocked.
Oh, sure. Let's talk about more hay feeders.
All right,
Why
hay
don't we?
feeders. Sure. Okay, there's a great easy way that you can make a feeder for an animal in a stall. You get a blue barrel and then some PVC pipe
Love it.
right across. Or actually, I wouldn't do PVC just because that can tend to break. But like the 3/4 inch conduit, the metal stuff, just screw it together.
I don't even think I would do that. Well, I mean, I like the concept. I'll say that.
Yes, because it holds the hay
Yeah.
and then it catches the hay at the bottom.
You know what I think might work? Oh, I got a better idea just
What?
now. You put your comments down below, but imagine the same barrel, okay? You cut the same hole out,
Mm-hmm.
but then what you do is you hang a horse hay feeder in the top. So
Oh,
it's
a hay
open
net.
like this. So it's always open. You drop it in there every time. It just stays in there, and that way it slows them down from eating too much as well.
Yep, I've actually seen that where they use a barrel and then they have the hay net on the bottom. That makes filling hay bags so much easier.
That's what I was getting at.
Yep.
And you know why? Because I'm all scratched up from filling those stupid hay bags.
Yeah, we don't.
They work,
Don't like
but it's
using the hay
just,
bags.
ugh.
No. Mm-mm.
But that way you could do it without so much hay scratchage.
Yep.
So don't forget, add your comments. All right, this one, I haven't seen this one.
Miscellaneous
What's this one?
Plum. So it's a used hose bucket.
Oh, you put a bucket in a
Miscellaneous plumbing parts, trap, and straight piece.
bucket? Okay,
And
no.
an old hose are great for keeping the hose in the bucket. I have
Okay.
4 water buckets behind my barn and need to move the hose to each bucket.
Okay.
I cut the end off the old hose and run it through. Okay.
Yeah. That's nice. That's nice.
That's
Let's find
beautiful,
a good
Katie.
one.
So
Well, you
here's
can squeeze your body through there.
another way you can get through the fence if you're using barbed wire. You basically just put PVC pipe on the barbed wire and you can go through
You're
there.
risking life with that. I wouldn't
But
do that.
you know what? I think if cows figured that out, they'd probably do the same
They
thing.
would shove their head through there in a hot second.
Oh, sure.
Of course, I still like the ladder.
The ladder's great.
And
Yeah.
What is this? Oh, just tying things on?
Yeah, just
That's
tying
goofy.
things on. If you've got a new cattle fence, just tie. Our neighbor actually put
The blue tape.
blue painter's tape on there. It's just so that they can see the fence. That's all. And then feed storage. Okay, if you have a broken freezer, like one of the old
Okay, sure.
broken chest freezers, it's a great way you can keep feed in there to keep mice out of it.
All right.
So, and then the walk-through fence. I've seen that done.
Oh, so they can't turn around in there.
Animals can't make that curve, but humans can. And I can see the need for it, but we don't have fencing like that.
We
So
should
it's
just make
just
some
kinda,
turnstiles. That way you can be making some money back. That way you got to put a quarter in every time. If you don't put the quarter in, then you got to walk all the quarter mile back to the corner fence where you got to get through the gate.
Sure, that makes sense.
Like the Aldi method. So you
Sure.
put your quarter in, you get to use the turnstile. No, she's saying no.
No. Oh, stall mats. Stall mats are definite must in some areas. It really does help.
Oh, we got some of these.
Yes.
Yeah.
These are great. I actually really want to get some.
Finish your thought first. You can do it, baby. I believe in you.
I know.
What was the first one? Stall mats.
I know, stall mats. So I really want to have some stall mats outside the barn where the cows come in and out because they decide they're going to stand there and pee and poo and make a mess. Well, then they're just tracking it inside the barn. Will you please stop that? I am not trying to look at you, but I can see you messing with your hands over here.
I'm just trying to illustrate.
I know. But Brad found on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, I don't even know. But the old track pieces.
off of different kinds of farm machinery. It's the super thick rubber mat that's probably 1/4 inch thick, about 3 foot wide, in gigantic rolls, and they were just throwing them away.
Yep. So we need to put that underneath the lean-to so that the water goes away and not into the barn.
So same idea. But there's another idea is to be looking at Facebook for stuff that you may not think will work for this job, but will work great for another job.
Exactly.
Is it this one? I can't see it.
It is that one.
Okay, here we go.
So there's some more things that can add to your farm, homestead in saving money, just at-home hacks. And there is one, drying herbs.
Tied to your fence?
I don't know why they tied it to their fence because it's outside.
I can tell you why. No, they needed to fill up this article because
Probably.
That's called filler. Let's move on.
That is totally filler. Frugal fire starters. If you have pine trees nearby, go just grab some pine cones. Use those for fire starters. Because there's always the sap in there, and they're great.
You know what I have actually done is if you dip those suckers partially in wax.
They light like nobody's business. Yep.
And then I know you're not really supposed to use wax a lot in a fireplace. But a little bit, it's not going to kill you. I'm not a fireman. Don't play one on TV. You consult your fireman with all your firing things. I'm just telling you what I've done.
The wax ones would be great for outside fires.
Sure. So. I mean, I'm just saying that I've done it. It's not something you do common.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, man, when you come home from church and it's literally 0 degrees outside and it's 35, 40 in the house because it's been a while. You don't want those pipes to freeze. So getting the house warmed up quick sometimes.
It's necessary. It's necessary. So then clean storage and easy fire starter. Use paper bags, tear it up, newspapers that come in. All of those silly advertisements, junk mail, we use all of that stuff for fire starters.
Let me tell you one of the best things I've ever made because I made them. I made them a lot. Take your wood shavings, whatever wood you use, just make sure it's dry. And I would take the paper cardboard egg cartons. You fill up those egg cartons with whatever shavings you got. You just pack it in, right? Then you pour wax in there, and then you cut them all up, and you got 12 amazing fire starters that those things burn for a good 25 minutes. It's not like those chemical logs.
Right. This is, of course, depending on the type of wax you're using, paraffin wax or beeswax, which who wants to burn beeswax? I don't want to burn beeswax in a fireplace anyway, because I like it to smell nice in the house. No more tangles.
Really?
Yeah, I know. That's kind of silly. On. Okay, boot box. Okay, that's fine and dandy. Keep your boots from getting muddy everywhere, and there's a little notch there that you can just help take off your boots. But
what is your best use for a plastic jug?
Yeah.
Like your extra. What is the thing? What in the heck could you possibly do with this plastic jug that is not its original or intended use? What is that thing? Ladies and gentlemen, put your answers down in the comment section below. I'm Brad, and here is your potential challenge. What do you use?
I have actually tried to use a recycle jugs, plastic containers like this for using for feed or anything like that.
The scoops, you cut the side off?
Doesn't work. The plastic is way too flimsy. And honestly, we don't buy milk jugs anymore because we have our own cow. So
I've used those jugs effectively for fly killing, like outside fly killing, where you've got the sweet sugar stuff in it.
Sure.
There's plenty of videos on how to see that.
True. But yeah, I mean, you could probably reuse them to use for for covering like small plants in the early spring when you've got the plants in there, you want to protect them. You cut the bottoms off, you take off the screw lid and set it right on the top of your plant so that it kind of creates a little greenhouse. But
what are your best
clear
ones?
Yeah,
okay, glove baskets.
That's okay. What? Yeah, that one's weird.
Okay, so but here's my thing that I didn't see this article, so I'm in my guy mind. I'm going, what? And what would happen? This is, I can tell you, I'll play this out for you, ladies and gents. This will be girl guy thing. Guy comes home and girl goes, look at the wonderful glove basket I bought. And I look at it and go, what the heck is this for? And she goes, well, I wouldn't say it like that because you want to stay married. But she would go, well, you place your gloves here and you place your, and I would whip out my nasty cow poopy gloves and go whack on that thing.
No.
And then it would be covered in cow poopy nasty gloves. And then she would be shocked and horrified that I would put my gloves on the glove basket. So then I would ask, well, where should I put my gloves if not on the glove basket?
No, that type of basket would be a very silly basket to put your gloves in. We just have one of those recycled, we bought them from a recycling place, these big crates, and we throw all of our gloves in there. So if you need a pair of gloves, that's where you go, and there's pairs in there. They're not like stapled together or anything like that, but there's pairs of gloves in there. And if they don't match, that's really okay.
Well, it looks goofy to start with.
I think that probably was no, because the photo was off of Amazon.
So what?
They just took an image from Amazon.
No. My point is, like, it doesn't look like something you would want to have out.
No.
Like with gloves, ugly gloves in it.
No, that would be something you could put eggs on to make it look decorative.
Frou-frou-y.
Or fruit or something like that, but not dirty, nasty
All right.
gloves.
Well, ladies
no
and
way.
gents in the chat, what do you think that thing looks like? Because I'll tell you what it looks like to me. It looks like a very, very stylish nose ring for a cow.
No.
Instead of like all fruit out earrings.
I got
it.
it.
Looks like something that they would put right in there.
No, I got it.
What is it?
So back in the 70s and 80s when the fancy little tiny soaps were a thing.
Yes.
That's what they would put in that.
And then the soap would get all nasty and muck down
No.
it.
These are not soaps that you use. These are soaps just for decoration.
Oh, these are those soaps that are covered in 3 inches of dust?
Yes, exactly. These are soaps you don't touch.
These are the soaps that are like towels that your mother-in-law buys that will never, ever be touched or used because...
That doesn't happen in this house. It doesn't. There's lots of towels we use. Every single towel in this house we use.
Are you willing to get a stack of Bibles?
Sure. We use towels. We use them all.
We better move on because I feel like lightning bolts are coming soon. Okay. Patio care furniture. Yeah, that's great. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Nah, we need to move on.
Anyway, we've got better things to talk about than these goofy hacks. I guess I should. I was talking to Claire on the phone when I was looking at that article. So.
All right, here's part of this. Actually, is near and dear to my heart, and a guy named John Zeckerly, who probably is in the chat right now.
Probably.
Hopefully.
Probably.
It's here. Check this out, ladies and gents. If you don't know, there is a push to get rid of AM radio stations altogether
in vehicles,
now. Everywhere. Mm-hmm. Not just vehicles, just everywhere. And the problem is that a lot of rural area folks, that's where they get their normal, like, local news. Mm-hmm. That's where they get their local weather. That's where they get emergency notifications.
Yep.
And all kinds of really super important information for rural communities that you don't get any other way if you live out where there's no cell signal, if you live out where there's no TV.
Right.
And AM radio is incredibly huge and even potentially life-saving in a lot of cases.
Exactly.
And now there's a big push from the federal government.
No, you had it right the first time.
Federal government to get rid of it. Mm-hmm. Now, why did I say John Zeckerly, he's watching this? Well, because he is Frontline's radio station guy. Mm-hmm. I'm friends with him. I've actually been to a radio station with him that was being dismantled because of this. And he knows how to repair all that equipment. And so put in the chat your concerns about this, because I am seriously concerned that this is going to cut off rural Americans who need information that, let's just say that not everybody has the internet.
Right.
And I think it's a big, huge mistake to assume that everybody has internet. That's like saying, well, we sent everybody an email. Not everybody has email.
No. No, not everybody does have email.
So after I get off my soapbox, would you skim the article?
I would be happy to. So, U.S. farmers fight to save AM radio in vehicles. In response to concerns over the future of AM radio in new vehicles, the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act has been introduced to protect this essential communication tool. This legislation addresses challenges posed by automakers' plans to exclude AM radio receivers from electric vehicles, citing interference issues with the electronic components. Electric.
Which couldn't possibly be resolved. These are stinking EV vehicles. Yes, they can be resolved. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So Emily Buckman, representing the American Farm Bureau Federation, highlights the significance of AM radio for rural America. She underscores its role in providing vital updates on weather conditions, commodity prices, and agricultural policies, particularly in remote areas where alternative communication methods may be unreliable. Maintaining AM radio in vehicles is crucial for ensuring farmers and rural residents have access to critical information during emergencies. The legislation proposes mandates that would require automakers to continue including AM radio in new vehicle models at no additional cost.
Correct. So, and here's one of the things that bothers me about this, and you put your 2 cents in the comment section. One of the things that bothers me about this is the AM radio costs the automaker literally
Pennies.
Near nothing to put in the vehicle. Why? It's technology that they already have that they don't need to develop. All they're doing is literally removing it. So why not leave it in?
Yeah. Fix your other electric components.
And that's the kind of thing. So there's a concern that okay, I don't think the concern is legitimate.
No, I don't.
So they're saying that a vehicle that is completely run electrically cannot filter out this AM frequency somehow. It's going to mess it up.
Well, what's to say that they won't just get rid of radios altogether? Because how many people who drive an electric vehicle are listening to the radio in any way when they just listen on their phone?
I do.
Yeah, I know you do.
I listen to
We don't
AM
have an
radio.
electric vehicle.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
you know,
we're gonna
I'm
get to
talking
that,
I'm
actually.
talking about electric vehicles. People who drive an electric vehicle probably are using Spotify or iHeartRadio or Apple Music, whatever. They're probably doing that as opposed to listening to the actual radio.
Now, the argument is going to say, well, you can still have your AM radio. It's just got to go through the internet, satellite.
Right.
Well, here's my problem with that. I want less controls, not more controls.
Absolutely.
I would much rather hear about the farm issue from Joe Blow down the street, who is the radio broadcaster, rather than something that was told by something to the bureau in such and such town that got filtered through the OK department in such and such town, beamed to a satellite, and then back to me.
Yeah.
And they decide what is newsworthy rather than Joe, my neighbor. I'd rather hear it from the people in my local community, not through the filtered agency.
Right.
No, thank you.
No.
And what's crazy is they're spending money, a lot of money right now, just dismantling these radio stations.
Yeah. It's true.
So
it's true, honestly.
There's a piece of equipment right over there that I got with John that came out of one of those radio stations they were shutting down. Ladies and gents, maybe you should look into ham radio.
Yes. So you can get radio from all over the world.
Well, and then you can get unfiltered information that is
Very true.
one-to-one. This source to that source.
Very true. Yep.
At least for now. Speaking of EV vehicles,
Yep.
let's get rid of, is it this one?
Yes.
Yeah, here. This is interesting, ladies and gents. Speaking of EV, electric vehicles. Boom. Check this out.
This is
not
so
the mountain
great.
bike ad.
No, not the mountain bike ad.
Man, apparently they think I need a mountain bike. Go ahead.
The ultimate uncertainty, nearly half of EV owners want to go back to, guess what? Gas-powered cars.
Ouch.
That ought to tell you something, folks.
The dog.
Daisy's over here behind Brad, just whapping her tail on the ground.
She wants to be gas-powered.
I think she's dreaming.
She is gas-powered.
So funny. She's asleep. Anyway, a brand new study from McKinsey has revealed that nearly half of Americans who own EVs want to go back to traditional gas-powered vehicles. Apparently, trillions of dollars in green taxpayer-backed global subsidies over the last decade are no match for the good old-fashioned common sense and free markets.
Oh.
Go figure.
Keep reading, baby.
Speaking of automotive news, Philip Kamshoff, leader of the consulting firm's Center for Future Mobility, said, "I didn't expect that. I thought once an EV buyer, always an EV buyer."
Guess not.
The study found that over 40% of U.S. electric vehicle blah, blah, blah.
That.
U.S.
and
vehicle. Let's start that sentence again, shall we?
You're doing great, honey.
The study found that over 40% of the U.S. electric vehicle owners are likely to buy a combustion engine car next.
Weird.
Let's find out why, shall we?
Shall we?
Shall we?
We shall.
We shall. Charging concerns are a major hindrance to EV adoption. Gee.
And they just spent a $1 billion.
And they built,
of
five?
your money.
5 of them. I don't know.
They got 5 stations built.
I don't know how many they built. I was
I actually
pulling a
don't
number
even
out of
think
the
it
air.
was 1.
I don't even think so either.
I don't think it was 1.
With 29% of global EV owners considering a switch, rising to 46% of the U.S. Consumers cite inadequate public charging infrastructure, high ownership costs, and impacts on long-distance travel as key issues.
Impacts on that really just kind of blows right past there, because I want you to understand something. Impacts on long distance travel. You know what that means? You can only go like 300 miles, 400 miles before you can't go anymore. That's it.
I got a couple words.
On.
Oh,
hold on.
Okay.
It gets even better. Who was that? Who was the woman that she's in charge of the energy sector? She got into some PR thing just recently. It was like a couple months ago. You guys Google it. Just Google it. Somebody put it in the chat, because it was hilarious, because she was going to make this big PR thing where she was going to go cross country and in an EV, like a new one of the tiny little Ford things or whatever it was.
Oh,
remember?
Yeah.
And then she could only go a little bit of ways, and then it would die. A little bit of ways, and it would die. And then finally it broke down. And then she had to wait, and there were no charging stations. And this is like the queen bee of energy, the energy department. I saw another. And then they had to rent a gas vehicle.
Yes, I saw one of the Ford executives was doing that. He was he was on vacation with one of the new EV Ford trucks.
Unbelievable.
And he got to a charging station, couldn't charge it. Tried to go to another one, still couldn't charge it, had to end up putting that one in the shop. And it wasn't because of the vehicle, it was because of the infrastructure, the charging station. Had to put that in the shop and have them charge it, and he rented a combustion engine and finished the rest of his vacation.
But they're more than happy to sell it to you.
Bingo.
And make you think everything's hunky-dory.
Sure.
Let me ask.
Nope.
Okay,
but hold on.
Ahead.
What I was wanting to say is, okay, you can only go how many miles?
300-400, depending.
15-minute cities. That's all I got to say.
Look it up. Yeah, you can ride around for a week.
They want to get rid of combustion engines by what, 2035?
There is an agenda. And now our video will be seen by nobody.
Sorry.
You see what happens, guys, is you start talking about things that are actually important, and all of a sudden everybody's inboxes are crammed with cat videos instead of what's important.
Sure. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I
suppose. Sorry for us.
I don't have much of a filter. Sorry for that part.
Well, since we went there, let's talk about this then. I want to see the real expense of an electric vehicle. And what I mean by that is not what they tell you, like, let's say you got to buy a Tesla, and I'm just going to use round numbers. You spent $40,000 on a cheap Tesla, right? And then, I got this home, and I'm charging it. Well, first thing, time. That's going to cost you, because if you need to get in your car and go, but there's no, the trickle charge, think of your phone. It takes X amount of time. And so if you ran it out yesterday, you're going nowhere.
Right.
Of course, you could argue that's the same with gas. True. But I mean also, like, okay, a lot of people are really concerned about the environmental impact. Okay, fine. You realize that almost all of electricity, the vast majority, I should say, is powered by coal in the United States still. So there are gas vehicles that are digging these things up, these chunks of coal out of the ground, and they're putting these gigantic pieces of coal into gigantic trucks that transport them with gasoline vehicles from point A to point B. And then they use these gigantic trucks to dump them onto conveyor belts that are gas-powered vehicles. Then they take that coal that they dug up out of the ground, and then they burn it. And then they make a combustion chamber get really, really, really hot. Not a combustion chamber, but a water boiler. And that is used to power turbines. That is the electricity that's transmitted to your lines that you put into this electric vehicle, and you're patting yourself on the back thinking, man, I really did something awesome for the environment, when it doesn't just vaporize into your lithium ion cells.
No.
It just doesn't.
No.
All of the infrastructure that got that electricity there, for the most part, is heavily coal-based. And then, not to mention the cost of the electricity itself. So when you make a decision that you want to go EV or whatever, I'm first of all, I'm for it. You do whatever you want.
Right.
Well, probably, if anybody was listening now and is for EVs, they would have run away and said we're heretics. But my point is, if you want to do that, do that. But I want to weigh out the real cost.
Right.
What's it really costing the environment? What's it really costing? Instead of just, I feel good and I'll pat myself on the back because I went and did something green.
Well, yeah, that may be fine and dandy now, but what happens when that battery is decomposing?
The lithium ion.
Yeah. Or catches on fire.
You really don't want to see what they do with those.
How is it harvested?
You want to make a quick decision about not buying anything that has lithium ion in it, and I mean on down to your phones. Look at how the people, and I mean people, I don't mean just adults, humans who go get this stuff that is incredibly poisonous.
Yep.
Look it up.
Yeah, I read an article not too long ago where a bird was sitting on the edge of it.
Come back.
It was sitting on the edge of this lithium ion field, and it died in just a few minutes, from sitting there. It's incredibly not good. And people are out there without any kind of protection. They're in flip-flops and kids and dust and breathing it. And it's so when it comes to this kind of stuff, I personally, and you type your own opinion in there, I personally think technology is good. Push forward, do the things that are good for everybody, the environment and humans and all of that. But don't force a technology that's not ready and be heavy-handed with governments shoving it down your throat and saying, you'll do this, you'll do that, when the technology is just simply not ready. Right. Let the free market say, I want it, rather than cram with taxes. And where are all these charging stations? Your money spent $1 billion, and I think they built one. Where'd it go? I've seen a charging station that it's being powered by a diesel generator. Like, are you guys kidding me?
Let's get to a happy story.
Let's move on. Oh
Thoughts
my
in the
goodness
comment
gracious.
section.
Yeah. This is
great.
This is great.
So start a little bit, and then there's a partially video.
All right. So it says Feelgood Friday, music artisans are a dying breed. And this is very true. One town honors its local instrument repairman. This week's Feelgood Friday is about the art of music. Friday, it's Sunday. No, the article is
from
Friday.
the article, yeah.
Right. Is about the art of music and the art of repair. There is a power in giving music, whether it be song, instrumental, or maintaining and restoring instruments. Why are all these bikes coming up, honey?
Well, I can tell you why, but we haven't bought one
I
either.
know. No, I know we won't.
And we're not even researching one. But
No.
I'll tell you what's crazy about that later.
Okay. I love documentaries and well done ones. Whether feature or short are hard to come by. I happened upon a really well done one, which won an Academy Award for Best Documentary Short. Directed by Chris Bowers and Ben Proudfoot, The Last Repair Shop tells the story of the heroes of the Los Angeles Unified School District who provide music and music maintenance to student instruments. The LAUSD shop has been in operation since 1959 and is one of the few remaining school districts in the entire nation that does this, hence the title.
Okay. Now, this gentleman is not related to that shop, but he is a small repair shop owner who's been around forever, I think since the 50s. I'm hoping that the audio works. If it's not, we'll have to turn that up.
Okay.
But this was just a local news article that the guy, they were honoring him and saying thank you. And let's see. Nope, no audio.
This is turned down.
Turn it up.
1920, you can walk by and see it on display. Hello there, are you Mr. Dave?
I am Dave.
How are you doing? I'm Nate, and I'm with East Idaho News.
Nate?
Yes, good to see you. This is Jordan. So, we heard you have a birthday coming up.
Oh, it's coming up.
It's coming up, and you're turning 50, 60?
Yeah, plus.
Plus a few years. How old are you turning?
I'll be 90 this year.
90. Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing.
On the 30th of this month.
Okay, and how long have you owned the store?
Well, we've been a corporation for probably 55 years. We've been on this corner 42 years now. Yeah.
How many instruments have you fixed over the past decades?
Oh my, that hundreds of thousands.
Wow.
Well, what a legacy. We heard about your birthday. We do a segment every week called Feelgood Friday. And so we want to send you to dinner. This is from Ashley Home Store. There's $100 on there. And you can choose any of these restaurants. You probably have heard of those two. Go get a steak.
That's cool.
Go get some Italian food. We also have a $100 gift card to
This
Ashley
is
Home
great.
Store that I left on my desk. So I'm going to bring it back to you.
No, what's it?
And you
Where's
can...
all this come from?
This is from Ashley and East Idaho News. Someone wrote us an email all about you and said they'd love if we would honor you. And I said, yeah, absolutely. We're going.
He likes that part more than the gift.
That's awesome. That's great.
So the reason why I saw this and thought we really need to talk about this kind of thing is because we live in such a throwaway society, guys.
Oh my goodness, yes.
You know, if your thing is broken, you just go get a new one, right?
No.
You throw it away and then go get a new one.
Yeah.
And the reality is that I think we'd be all far better off if we learned how to repair things, especially things like instruments. I mean,
Absolutely.
I've often wondered, and I've talked with my guitar friends about this, and they make a joke. Okay, here's the joke is this. I look at my guitar collection, and I have a really nice guitar collection. I've got 10 guiars. Each one does a different thing as much as she would like to say they don't.
No. I get it. Each one does it. They have different sounds. They have different uses. I get it.
But truth is, I don't need 20 guitars. I don't even need 15 really.
He only needs
you would
10.
like another one or so. So the gag question is, well, how many guitars is enough? Just one more. But here's my point.
Of course.
These guitar companies keep making these things by the thousands. Each one of them, each company is making thousands of them every year. Where do they go?
Yeah, right.
Because there's only
people are
X
hanging
amount
on
of
to 'em.
guitar. But are they just getting thrown away eventually?
No,
are
no,
they
I don't think
ending
so.
up under people's beds?
No, I think, well, probably, or in somebody's closet or attic or something
But
like
then
that.
eventually, what is this thing? I don't want it. You want it? Put it in the garage sale.
Then they'll sell it for $20 to somebody, and it's probably worth thousands. And then they're dumb to sell it off like that.
The problem is so many of these guitars are junk.
True.
It's just, where do they go? What a waste.
I guess I could do the same thing with horses.
We'll throw all your horses
No,
in a garage sale?
no, because all
For $20?
horses, the horses do all different things, right?
I would,
So I
don't
need just
understand
one
that.
more.
Why would you want to sell them for $20?
No,
in a
no,
garage sale?
no. It has nothing. I'm not talking about selling
That's
them.
what you said. I'm
No.
trying to understand.
You're
I'm
saying
trying
you
to-
10 guitars. They all do different things.
Right, so your
So
horses-
I would need, a couple more
You need
horses
10
because
horses.
because they all do different things, right?
Okay, so on Dasher, on Dancer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it works?
Sure.
Well, I'll tell you what. When we can afford to feed 2, we'll consider having 1.
Well, we already have one.
Perfect. So we don't need any.
No,
It's husband math.
No, it's
husband math.
2 is 1 and 1 is none.
Right, so we want none.
So we need 2.
Right, so then we have none. I'm trying to help. Do we need to get a tablet out for you?
No.
Like Zechariah
No.
when John was being born?
No, it's because Zechariah couldn't speak. It wasn't because his wife wasn't listening.
She wanted too many
You're
horses.
not listening.
That's
No,
why.
you're just not listening.
She had a horse thing.
He's trying to justify more guitars, and I can't get another horse. Not that I want another horse. I'm only teasing about the horse, but
Tell you what, I'll get rid of half my guitars if you get rid of half of your horses.
I only have one.
Perfect deal.
I'm not cutting her in half.
Done.
Nope.
I don't want to cut
Nope.
Selah in half.
No,
She's
of course
a sweetheart.
not. She is a sweetheart. No way.
Anyway, ladies and gents, tomorrow on Everyday Outreach, the YouTube channel, it's a Bible devotion, but it's fun. And I hate to say it that way, but it is fun.
It is fun. We learn about scripture, and it's fun.
We read the Bible, we unpack it, we have community, we talk, we pray together, and it's really cool. There's about 70 people that show up on average, and we pick up a few people here and there.
Yep.
And you should be there. It's 8:30 a.m.
Central.
tomorrow.
Monday through Thursday.
And this is a perfect time to start because we're starting a new book tomorrow, a new study. And I guarantee you, I can't give you the book because it's usually a secret for the participants until we go there.
Yep.
But Everyday Outreach, and it's 8:30 a.m. Central.
Yep.
And so make it a bookmark now. And we've got a lot of fun things to share with you. So, Mom,
Dad?
river dance us out.
Nope. Never happening. Nope. Guys, have a blessed and amazing day.
That's the closest we're getting to river dancing.
Yep.
Know your ways, O Lord, teach me your paths, lead me in your truth and teach me, for you are the God of my salvation, for you I From where does my help come? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The sun shall not strike you